All right, guys. This is a hard video to make. This shocked me. It shocked everybody, and I'll especially tell you why it shocked me as we get through this. But this is not before you. This is not a joke. This isn't what me and Kenny did to his daughter that time. This is legitimately horrible. Pat, as you all know, as Mclovein, died September 9th, about a week ago. I found out about it. Um, so let's go into the story, and then I'll tell you when I found out about it. But basically, what happened is I'd say a couple weeks ago, I messaged Pat, and because it was a betting website that me and him he introduced me to, and I forgot what the name of it was. I was trying to log back into it's football season, bet some money on some games, and he told me what it was. I logged in, and over the last couple of weeks, we've been, sharing our picks and stuff like that. He was selling life insurance for New York Life, I believe. He was living, I believe, in Weymouth. I know he worked out of Waltham, but I believe he was working in Weymouth, Massachusetts, obviously. And things I thought were good. He told me he was doing really well. He was engaged. You know, normal stuff. And then I want to say September 3rd or 4th, I messaged him. I told him what my parlay was going to be, and he actually agreed that it was a pretty good parlay. And Oregon just screwed me. I mean, Oregon just was the reason I lost the parlay. And I don't know if he had taken the same bet I did or not, but he I didn't hear from him for 4. He was not on Facebook for 4 days. Now, that's not normal. Not because in general it's not normal, but for him especially it's not normal. And I started to wonder, okay, it's not that he saw the message and then just disregarded it. He just wasn't on. And all of a sudden, the 8th of September comes, and he messages me back, yeah, they screwed me too. It's almost like, you would figure that kind of response would be like a day later. Maybe he was asleep, he woke up, saw the message, then said they screwed me too. No, this was 4 days later. So the 9th of September, we were talking, and he told me we were talking about Tampa and Dallas. And he thought Tampa was going to murder him, and it's their home opener and everything else. And I said, I don't know. I think it's going to be kind of close. I'm going to take Tampa -3. I bought points to take them -3. We all know they won by 2, which means I lost. But earlier that day, he swore up and down for me to take this bet. So I took the bet. It was a Dodgers to win, and the White Sox +1.5 on the money line. Or excuse me, the Dodgers on the money line, White Sox +1.5. And so I did. And I tried to get a hold of him because the bet lost. I tried to get a hold of him. I said, hey, man. He goes, hey, sorry about that bet. I'm going to Venmo you the money back. That you shouldn't have bet that. That was on me or whatever sort of thing. I said, okay, cool. Disappears again. Sort of like what had happened before. And I said to myself, this is strange. This is strange. I'm scrolling through my news feed, and I'm friends with his dad on Facebook. And his sister had posted a post with him, Pat, in it. And It was an obituary. And I couldn't, okay. I've never been in a situation where somebody has died, aside from family, somebody has died and you're like, okay, like I kind of knew him, whatever, right? It sucks. It's shitty, whatever. But this year, I have finally, not that I'm finally got there, no, but I've never been in that situation where somebody close to me has died and I felt pain, like real agonizing, don't want to get up, can't believe this is going on type of shit, right? And Pat, my best friend, Pat Dorgan from college, passed on earlier this year from COVID related issues, I guess, is what they're saying. And that floored me because, with the industry that I was in, I was never able to take a vacation. And the times I could take, I chose not to. And they would always, my buddies from college would always invite me, hey, go out, hey, go out, hey, go out, hey, go out. I just never would. Partly in due to the fact of money was more important, but partly due to the fact of I really, in the industry we're in, you can't call out. I mean, it's sales. It's high pressure, balls to the wall sales. And when you're in a manager position, it's a very coveted position, and they'll threaten you with, well, if you take off, I'll just find somebody to fill your position, one of those things. And you don't want to lose the money, so they scare tactic you. But when Pat died, the first Pat Dorgan, I said, I'm going to do everything I can to cut that BS out because it finally, something hit me. Now, I hadn't seen Dorgan in, 10 years, maybe 9 years. But this Pat is different. Pat lived with me. We went to Aruba. So I met Pat when he worked with me at Oak and Spruce in Lee, Massachusetts, Silverleaf, in 2015. I believe it was 2015. Yeah. And I didn't really know, he was a sales rep, brand new reps I don't really pay attention to because the turnover rate in this industry is extremely high. But one night I was sitting there closing up and Pat had gotten a sale and he's hanging out with me and a couple other reps and one other manager. I forget who it was. I don't know who it was. I don't know who the people were, honestly, but I remember Pat, obviously, because we were talking about OCD. I don't know, the subject of OCD came up. Pat's like, oh boy. He goes, I've got OCD bad. And I started laughing because I have OCD bad, really bad. And so me and him just sat there and started comparing what OCDs we had, I was like, this guy's pretty good, pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Nobody gets OCD. He does. Okay. And it stemmed, and our friendship started there. And he told me, where he was living and this, that, and the other thing. And we bonded, every single day. We come to work and, we were friendly and he started doing well. And I would hit his tables and there'd be deals. And he talked about how he worked in football and everything else. And eventually I was like, hey, get out of where you're living and come live with me. I got an extra room. You pay me less money than you're paying now. And, it'll be cool. And so he did. And it stemmed and it, the friendship went from there to obviously when Holiday Inn bought us out, we started working with Holiday Inn and, I drafted him on my team with the first pick of the draft and he was a bust. It was a running joke between me and him. And if anything, my Ryan Leaf, I call him Ryan Leaf all the time. And although I know he knows I was joking, he's very, very competitive person. Fiercely competitive, silently competitive. And me and him were similar in that aspect. I'm a little bit more vocal, but he always used to say, no one can put any more pressure on me than myself. And that was me and him in a nutshell. Nobody can put pressure on me other than myself. I wake up every day. I know what I have to do to produce, to make money, to make a living, to pay my bills. And I'm focused, and that's what I'm at. And that was him in a nutshell. He was a Yankee fan. I was a Red Sox fan, both Pats fans. He's a huge Providence Friar fan. His father went to the school, so a huge Friar fan. huge sports fan. We went to Aruba together for Masters from Holiday Inn, not like a date, guys, but like literally we won a company trip and a bunch of us from that resort went. And from there to meeting EDP to, um, you know, watching the 28-3 comeback against the Falcons. I'll never forget that. Winnie was still alive. And we're getting murdered. I'm on my phone lying on the couch, playing Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. Depressed, but just knowing that Atlanta that year was so good. And he's just sitting there saying, just watch, just wait. We just need one turnover. And then Dante Hightower strip sack Ryan. We got the turnover. We scored. He goes, okay, there we go. We just got to get the ball back. And he was in it from the whole get up. And finally, we go into overtime. We and him can't believe it. James White scores that touchdown, and me and him started jumping up and down together. And I'm trying to think how we did this, but I want to say it was my hands were on his shoulders and his hands were on my shoulders, and we were jumping up and down like 5-year-olds going to Chuck E. Cheese. And Winnie thought he was trying to fight me, so she bit him a little bit, which was hilarious when he was looking after me, I guess. But yeah, I mean, and the bets and the inside jokes that we had, and Kenny and glasses and going to Papa Gino's all you can eats on Tuesday nights, and we would do that. That would be the tradition. Every Tuesday we'd look at the Moars from Holiday Inn, our report card basically, and we'd sit there and we'd fuck up some Papa Gino's, He would drive me all over creation to New York City to go video game hunting, and he brought me on. He got me on. I never knew who Mad Dog was, and he was a New York. Him and Francesca or Franchette, whatever how you say it, Mike Francesa or whatever. They were huge in the early '90s. I'd never heard of them in my life, but they were huge in New York, and older Boston sports fans knew. But he grew up on him because his dad knew about him. And so he turned me on to the sports, to Mad Dog Sports Radio on Sirius, and I've been listening to them ever since. I don't think he ever asked me for gas once. I always offered. He might have taken it here or there, but he never asked, hey, can you throw me some, nothing. Hey, man, any way you can drive me out here? You want to come with me here? He goes, yeah, I'll drive. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't, when I saw that, it didn't make any sense because at 4:25 p.m. that day, we were talking. And so what I want to do is I want to read you the obituary for those of you who knew Pat through YouTube, and we used to have, Ask Mclovein questions during our football show, and he would always answer your questions and always give his fantasy insight and everything else. And this is what was written. Patrick Brennan Mcgrath of Wakefield, Rhode Island, passed away unexpectedly on September 9th, 2021 at the age of 39. He was the son of Kevin and Frances Mcgrath of Wakefield, Rhode Island, and the grandson of the late William and Esther Brennan and John and Josephine Mcgrath. He was a devoted and loving son, brother, uncle, and friend to many. In addition to his parents, he will forever be remembered by his sisters and their families. He is survived by Megan M. Krupe and her husband. If I mispronounced your last name, I apologize. Husband William of Kingston, Rhode Island, and Michaela M. London and her husband Todd of Medway, Massachusetts. He was a beloved uncle to his 5 nieces, Isabella, Caroline, Charlotte, Madison, and Riley, and his nephew Jack. A 2000 graduate of South Kingstown High School, he went on to receive his Bachelor of Arts degree from Notre Dame de Namur University in Belmont, California. After graduating, he worked in football operations at both the NFL San Francisco 49ers and the University of Connecticut football program. Pat loved competition, hated to lose, and was an accomplished athlete. He was an avid sports enthusiast. He was loyal to his 3 teams, the New York Yankees, the New England Patriots, and the Providence College Friars. He formed many meaningful friendships with those he met along the way. He had an innate way of making someone feel special by dubbing them with one of his signature nicknames. It was his kind spirit, quick humor, and emphatic nature that made him so special to those that loved him. Sadly, Patrick lost his valiant struggle with depression. Depression does not discriminate. It is right to acknowledge and honor the progress he had made while recognizing the toll that the struggle took on his life. The day Patrick died, a part of all of us died along with him. We will miss him and every day and continue to celebrate his life. So, I'm going to let you guys know if you want to send anything. Donations can be made in lieu of flowers to St. Edmund's Retreat and Recovery on Enders Island. You can send the donations in Pat's name. It's P.O. Box 399, Mystic, Connecticut, 06355. Or you can go online and you can go to endersisland.org. That's ENDERSISLAND.org/memorial and honor gifts. And what I'll do is I'll copy this link and put it in the video description and the address to St. Edmunds. I'm gonna have to try to do this. Mass is going to be at 10 a.m. on Monday, that's September 20th, and it looks like there will be a YouTube live broadcast of it, maybe, or there's a YouTube channel for it. So I'm going to copy that link and the date and time for Mass, so you guys, if you want to watch it, you can. You can also send flowers. It looks like plant a tree is the link I'm looking at, but I don't know. Yeah, this is. I'm going to obviously order flowers for his Christian burial, and his final resting place will be at St. Francis Cemetery in Wakefield, Rhode Island. So some of you commented on my post. For those of you who are friends with me on Facebook, you saw my post, and a lot of you have been hitting me up saying, "What is this? What is going on?" And that's all I know. I don't. It doesn't make any sense, guys, because I literally talked to the guy. I don't know. Literally 4:25 p.m. on Facebook Messenger, and he died that same day. So we can all sit here and say that, oh yeah, there's always tomorrow. From afar, somebody may die. That a friend of yours may have somebody die in their life, and they're hitting them hard, and you're like, oh yeah, but that's not me. I'll just have time tomorrow. There's guys, tomorrow is going to come. I mean, Jesus, I'm 37. Just yesterday, I was 28 on the upper coast of my roller coaster of life. I was going up. 28 years old, youngest sales director in Silverleaf history. That was 9 years ago. January 10th of 2022, I'll be 38. So the moral and the point of that and saying that is, don't push things off. Try not to. Do the best you can not to, because this shit happens. Whether it's this, getting hit by a bus, in an airplane that crashes, you never know. And when Pat Dorgan died, it was a wake-up call for me. And this is even more so, because for those of you who have been a subscriber of this channel for a while, You've been through the wars with me and Pat. You've sat through football season after football season. You've sat through, you know, Scratch Chicken Thursdays when he's been a guest. You've sat through dining room discussions. You've sat through a lot. Me and him played. I think we uploaded we played. Was it Wheel of Monopoly against each other? I think Wheel of Fortune or something. Pat was he was one of my best friends. You know, we had literally everything in common. Same humor, same interests. He really wasn't into video games as much as I was, but sports were there. He wasn't into the same movies or TV shows I was. I'll never forget it. I'm watching Grimm, or I'm watching whatever show I'm watching, and he goes, I don't like it. I said, well, why? He goes, it's not realistic. I mean, it shit's wizards and shit. I mean, he goes, it's not realistic. His favorite TV shows were anything on an investigation discovery, ID. He liked you know, he would watch it all day long. You know, this person got murdered and they're trying to figure it out and that sort of stuff based on real stories and stuff. He was all about it. Anything that had to do with goblins or whatever, he would make fun of, and he'd say it's not realistic. It's a waste of my time. So there's that. So guys, you're more than welcome. You don't have to. This isn't me saying, hey, do it. But if you feel a connection to Pat and you want to you want to send some flowers or send a donation in remembrance of Pat and Pat's memory to you know, please do. But I'm going to at the end of this video, stay tuned. I'm put together a remembrance of Pat here on the channel. And I appreciate each and every one of you for watching, if you watched the whole way through or watching it at all, because this is not easy. So I mean, there's nothing. I cannot. I want to message him and say, hey, who do you got tonight? The Giants or the Washington football team, and why? And he's not there. I want to message him about the inside jokes that we had at work. Just random messages that he would get because of our humor, and he's not there. So please, for me, and more so for yourselves, make some time for the people that mean the most to you, because when they're gone, they're gone. Appreciate it. All right, welcome back, everyone. It is a new season with this sexy guy. It is Fantasy Football with Mclovein. Now, I know that a couple of you have emailed him already. Steve Goldman, yep. to name someone off the top of our heads. But we are going to do a fantasy football show very soon, towards the beginning of the regular season, obviously before then. We're just wanting to remind everyone that there's going to be a new format, really, to the show. It's going to be every Wednesday like it normally is. But I know a lot of you have commented that they actually do want to call in. Yeah. So I'll give you my cell number, or we'll figure it out. Maybe yours.
We'll figure it out. It all depends on how if we're mature enough to have one cell phone number and just use it just primarily for the shows, or we'll figure something out. But basically, we're really excited about this year. Another year. Football time is best time of the year. Okay, we got camp starting. I love it. Love football. You know, you guys know how much I love football. Love the show, and I'm looking forward to another great season, and especially beating everybody in the selections
So,
that I did last year.
so why don't you tell for those of the people who haven't actually seen the show yet or don't even know about it because I
Okay.
stupidly put it in the wrong thing.
That's fine.
Why don't you tell them your background in the NFL
So,
or background in football, I should say.
sure. In 2004, I was 21 years old. I went out and did a summer internship with the San Francisco 49ers. I was one of 30 guys, and it was a month. It was in for a training camp. I was the one that was selected out of 30 to stay on and do a scouting internship, which, I called my parents and said, look, I'm not coming home, staying in California. But basically, I was involved in pro scouting, college scouting, everything to do with personnel for the first 3 years that I was with the San Francisco 49ers. So we were trained a certain way. I worked for General Manager Scott Mclovein at the time. He's a great guy. Still stay in touch with him. He's at Washington right now. Basically, all I did was watch film for 3 straight years. That's it. Okay. Then I was promoted to the team travel manager in 2005, where I became the youngest travel coordinator in the history of the NFL at the age of 25. Basically, I did all the team travel all around the country. The menus, the meals, everything, basically. I did that for 4 years. Then I worked 2 years at the University of Connecticut, working in their football program, doing recruiting and player personnel stuff. And then I went and worked at the University of Colorado for a short time as well. So basically, I've done evaluations at the pro level. I've done evaluations for the college NFL draft. I've done high school evaluation. So I have a 11-year career working in football. And I know we went over this a little bit last year, but if you're just tuning in for the first time, football is my love. I could talk football all day. What I really bring to the table is a couple different things. I can take any topic and go with it. I try to give the best insights out there. I love this shit, and I'm looking forward to another year with our host Andrew Overton.
All right, it is Fantasy Football with Mclovein time. It is an early Tuesday special. Mclovein's going home for the holidays. All right, folks, it is Fantasy Football with Mclovein coming straight at you from Aruba.
What's up, guys?
Aruba. So, Aruba.
Aruba. It's beautiful here.
Yep. Three keys to the game.
I think, like EDP was saying, Eli Manning needs to turn the ball over at least once today. If the Eagles can be +1 or +2 on the turnover ratio, they'll win the game. The second is guy like the X factor for today is a guy like Darren Sproles. You're going to see Darren Sproles out of the backfield as a runner, as a receiver, and most importantly in the special teams game. The Giants have a poor special teams, and I look to see him make big plays on the special teams, returning kicks and returning punts. And I think really the defense, the Eagles really have to shut down Beckham. If they can shut down Beckham, then they're going to be it's going to be a good day for the Eagles. But with all that being said, I like Wentz a lot against this Giants defense. I don't think their defensive line is as strong as it has been in the past, so I think he's going to have some time to throw the ball. I think the Eagles' offensive line, as we always say, needs to really give him time to make decisions and get rid of the ball. Overall, I think that the Giants are at home. That's why it's a 3-point game, but basically it's an even game. It's a pick'em game, and I'm taking the Eagles +3. But I really think that if they can get Eli Manning getting his happy feet going and getting some pressure on him, I'm not worried about the Giants' run at all. And basically, if they can somehow, they're never going to stop Odell Beckham. If they can limit him to not 10 catches, 150 yards, and they're going to be in good shape. So I'm taking the Eagles.
All right.
It is Pro Bowl week. Let me zoom out of McLovin's head there.
Yeah, fuck.
Pro Bowl week, week that nobody really gives a shit about anything because the Pro Bowl is a waste of our time.
Yeah.
But that's how we do it here on Fantasy Football with McLovin. We don't skip a week here is what we don't
No, even though we're fucking sick.
do. 1 million years old.
Yes, he is. Couple things. Now, this plantar fasciitis, we talked about it because that's what Peyton has, and he's been out for
40 years.
Yeah, because I think he's got more, his neck and his shoulder, and I think it's not just the foot, it's many more than that. But still, I've had this, we've been over this, this is the most painful thing you'll ever experience in your life.
Worse than a kidney stone.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Worse than childbirth.
I don't know what that's like.
That's winning.
Winnie, what's childbirth like?
She looked great. I didn't even talk to her. We got it on camera. Tell your mom to watch that part.
She'll watch. We'll watch tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom and Dad.